right?
This meeting is being recorded.
Let's turn to page 31 in your grammar book. Page 31. Okay, page 31. Today we're going to talk about homophones. And a homophone, you've probably heard that word before, is a word that sounds like another word, but is spelled differently and has a different meaning. Correctly use the homophones there, and there. So there's 3 ways to spell there, and they all sound exactly the same, but they all have different meanings. So that's where you have to look at the sentence and figure out if it is being used correctly or not, and then find the correct spelling of the word. So THERE is an adverb pointing to a place. Over there, there is the spot. Now, earlier today, I was teaching this class and somebody told me that another teacher of theirs gave them a little clue that THERE, if I cover up the T right here, it's the word here, right? HERE. So that's a little clue. That's the spelling there with THERE to mean a certain place, or, here is like a place too. So maybe that's a little clue for you. If you forget how to spell there with THERE, that's a clue. THEIR is a possessive pronoun. Their gifts, the gifts belong to them. So that's referring to a group of people or more than one person. And if it's something they have, it's theirs, their gifts. And then THEY apostrophe RE, that one's kind of easy to remember because it's a contraction. So that means they are. They're kind. They are kind. So it's there. They all sound the same, but different meanings, different spellings. So in this book for your grammar this week, you will see errors with the word there, and it's going to be up to you to figure out which way to spell it. You can always come back to this page to refresh your memory on these things, on these definitions, and that can help you with your homework. The example sentence right here, or let me back up right here. Place a line through the incorrect homophone and write the correct word above it. All you have to do is just draw one line through it and then fix it above it. So the soldiers were happy with their gifts. Yay. So originally it was THERE, and that was the wrong spelling because the gifts belong to them. So it would be their, THEIR. Okay. Any questions about homophones or the word there? You have any questions? No, I see that, Valentina. If you don't have, thank you, Kylie. Then let's move on. Good job, you guys. Let's go to the practice page on page 33. Let's see. Any volunteers to read our sentence today? Okay, Valentina, go for it.
They agreed to use their gifts and travel together around the world.
Nice. Okay, so travel, we know what that means. It's basically going from one place to another. It could be just traveling to the other side of town, or it could be like in this sentence, around the world, meaning different countries. So we know what travel is. So go ahead and put a check mark by vocabulary up there at the top. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. And you already know what to put here. Go ahead and write in a and the. Be careful not to put and, because it's not with a D, it's without a D. So it's an article. And then you can go ahead and look for those and put AR above. It looks like there's just one, so that makes it pretty easy. And then how about Kylie? What are the nouns that you see in this sentence? Remember, nouns are people, place, or thing.
Gifts.
Yes, good. Gifts. And there's one more.
World.
Yep. That's pretty easy. Good job. So we can put a check by that. Okay. And Valentina, how about the pronouns? There's two of them.
But I need a friendly reminder of what a pronoun is.
Okay, I can help you with that. So a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. It's usually like he, her, she, it.
There's like they.
They, yes, right here, they. And then there's one more. But actually, I'll help you with this because we need to fix this word there. It's the wrong spelling. So if it's their gifts, let's draw a line through that. What is the correct spelling of their, Valentina?
THEI.
Yes, that's correct. And that means the gifts belong to them. Now that becomes a pronoun. So we can put PR on top of that. That's the other pronoun there. Their gifts.
Okay.
Okay, good job. And then let's see, Harmony. What word needs a capital letter?
Teller. Big T. On
The
what word?
T. What's the word?
They.
Good. Right here, this first one. So you can put 3 lines under that. And then Harmony, since that was so easy, I'm gonna ask you another one. What about the end mark? What do we need at the end of the sentence?
A period.
Yep, you got it. And then we can check off homophone because we already fixed that one. Okay, so we're done fixing it. Now go ahead and copy that sentence down below. And don't forget to make those corrections like the capital. Go ahead and write the sentence at the bottom. Got it? Okay, good, Valentina. Okay, awesome, Kylie. Awesome, good, Harmony. Okay, we're done with grammar. So your homework will be the next 3 pages like we've been doing. So pages 34, 35, and 36 will be your homework this week for grammar. Okay, before we move on to the writing part of the class, I'm going to just talk to you for a minute about the word style. So when you hear that word style, what do you think of? What do we have that has style? Can you think of anything? Kylie.
Clothes.
Clothes, that's a good one. So we have like casual style, right? We have t-shirt and shorts and jeans, and then we have like formal type clothes. Like Kylie, go ahead.
You also have like a style of opinion.
Oh, that's a good one too. So thinking back on clothes before we move on from that, what is something, maybe one of the other girls can answer, what is something you would wear to a wedding? if you were there as a guest? What would you wear to a wedding?
Something formal?
Something formal? Like, what would that be for you?
I mean, like, you don't want to dress in white because I feel like that's mean. So something formal, just like nothing crazy. I feel just something nice, like plain dress.
A dress, that would be appropriate. Yeah, you wouldn't want to wear like your bathing suit to a wedding. That would be really awkward, right? It would be out of place. You don't want to do that. But you would wear a nice dress. And then how about like at the beach, Harmony? What's something you would wear at the beach?
A red bikini.
A red bikini? Yes, exactly. You could wear a red bikini because you wouldn't want to wear like I don't know, a ski jacket or ski clothes at the beach, right? That you would be so hot, it wouldn't work there. So you're right. There's different styles for different occasions with our clothes. What's another thing that we have that has style? I know that Kylie was talking about your ideas, but what about something else? How about like hairstyles? Right?
Stylish hairstyle.
I think we
I'm
all
wearing one,
kind of
in fact,
have,
today.
yeah. Well, Valentina has very curly hair. So, and she's got it styled up. She's got part of it up, got these little braids, super cute. Kylie's got her hair down. Mine's in a ponytail, and it looks like maybe Harmony's is in a ponytail.
Ponytail, sure.
Let me see your ponytail.
A ponytail.
Yep. Oh, you have curly hair too, huh, Harmony?
Yes.
Yeah. Mine's a little wavy only because I sleep in a braid at night. So it kind of gets a little wavy, but normally it's super straight. But
Mine's
yeah.
short.
And yours is shorter. So we have hairstyles. We have car styles, like, we've got Jeeps and trucks and minivans and SUVs. Those are different styles of vehicles. Do you have one more, Kylie? Food. Very good. Yep. Okay. So think about that now with writing. We also have different styles of writing. Like when you're texting, you're probably not going to be too concerned about all of your words and the grammar and all of that. Maybe you do like short texts or abbreviations or something. How about this? How about your mom is on the phone and it's a long conversation. She's talking to an old friend that she hasn't talked to in years, and it's going to go long, right? But you really are desperate to ask her if you can have a piece of candy because for whatever reason, your sweet tooth is like, I got to have candy. Have you ever had that feeling before? But you can't have it without asking. So you want to ask your mom, what could you do to not interrupt her, right? How could you communicate that to her that you're asking for a piece of candy? What do you think, Kylie?
Just grab a piece of candy and show it to her.
Yeah, you could do that. And then like a question with your shoulders and your eyes, maybe, or you could write a note. What if you wrote a note that said, Mom, can I have a piece of candy? And then you put yes and no, and then you hand her the pencil and she can circle either yes or no. You could do that, right? That would work. So, but what if you wanted to write to like the president of some company, like, I don't know, what would be a big company you would want to write to? Like Apple Computer or something. And
Amazon.
maybe, what were you going to say?
Amazon.
Okay. So, perfect. Let's say you want to write to the president of Amazon. You got an order and it wasn't what you thought, and you really wanted to let them know that they need to fix the order or something like that. So if you're writing to an important person like that, or even like the governor or the president of the United States or somebody important, you wouldn't use like your slang, which is like you wouldn't say, hey, dude, what's up with that? How come you didn't give me what I ordered? You would say in a nice formal way, dear Mr. President of Amazon, I received this in the mail and it's not exactly what I ordered. So please let me know what I should do. You would use nice words and maybe even dress it up a little bit, right? Especially if you're writing to like the president of the United States, you would, compared to writing to your friend or your mom, right? Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get at. So there's style in writing. So what we're going to learn now is a type of word that you can add to your writing to give it more style. So you already are learning how to make a keyword outline, and then you're learning how to transfer that to a paragraph, and you're doing really good at that. But now we're going to start adding stuff to it to make it sound even better. Okay, with that little introduction, I am going to talk to you about dress up words. So I want you to get this page out. It should be at the very front of your binder because I'm pretty sure we got it out last week. It's yellow and it's page 27. Looks like this. It says dress ups. It says at the very top, stylistic techniques. And we're going to talk about the very first dress up. There's a bunch of them. There's 6 of them, but we're just talking about one today. Give me a thumbs up when you have it. Good, Harmony. Good, Kylie. Looks like Valentina's looking. Check the front because I think we moved it there last week. This is in your binder, not your grammar book.
I see note making and outline, but I can't see the.
Maybe you know how there's that front pocket in the very front of your binder. Maybe it got stuck in there or something.
Oh wait, yeah, I have it. I have it.
Yay. Okay, cool. Yay. Okay. At the top, stylistic techniques. This is how we're going to add style to your writing. And it says dress ups. And next to number 1, I want you to put a little dash and then ly like that. And then put the word adverb. Ly adverb. And that is the first number 1 dress ups. Notice it goes all the way to number 6, and then there's some extra things on here. And then there's other things on this page. So slowly we're going to add to this list, and this will become your notes for when you go to write, so you can make sure to include these things. But for right now, we're just starting with ly adverb. And we know a little bit about that from grammar, that an adverb adds to the verb, which is kind of handy in the name. So we know it modifies. That's another way to say it in grammar language. It modifies a verb. Okay, so let's think for a minute about a verb like eat. Okay, we all know eating, got to do it every day to stay alive, and we enjoy it most of the time. So think about eating, and then I'm going to say this sentence, I eat blank, and in the blank, I want you to think of a ly adverb that would describe how you're eating. So I eat somethingly, like I eat sloppily, or I eat neatly. You have one, Valentina?
I eat joyfully.
I eat joyfully, especially if it's like cake or pie or something like that, for sure. All right, joyfully, what else could you say? I eat somethingly. Excitedly. I eat quickly. If you're in a hurry, if you got to go somewhere, you got to eat quick so you can get out the door, right? Sometimes we're eating quickly.
I eat slowly.
Slowly, good. Kylie, you have one?
No, but my brother used to eat slowly. It would take like an hour.
Yeah, my daughter was that way. She was always so distracted at the dinner table, and it took her forever to eat, but slowly. How about like happily? What did you say?
Steadily.
Steadily?
What do you
Yeah.
say?
By eating steadily.
Happily.
Happily.
Happily? Yes, that's a good one. I eat happily. Good. What about like unwillingly? What if it's something you don't like? Maybe you don't like broccoli or some kind of vegetable. I eat it unwillingly, right? Did you have another one, Kylie?
You stole it.
Oh, okay, sorry. Or we could even think about like studying. When you study for a test or something, I study somethingly. Well, what's a way that you can study? How would you study? Kylie.
You would study sadly or happily.
Sadly or happily, yes. Could be carefully, studying carefully, or what's another one we could say about studying? Constant.
Lonesome.
What is that?
Lonely.
Lonely. Oh yeah, you could be lonely while you're studying. Yeah.
Slowly.
Slowly.
Slowly. Good one. That's a good one, so we can remember everything, right? Okay, good. Well, you're getting the idea. So these words add to the verb. So when you're looking for a spot to put an adverb in your writing, the first step is to look for a verb and then think about how you're doing whatever it is you're doing, or the character in your story. So, all right. Now I want you to get out a clean piece of paper, lined paper. All right, and now you can put your name, you know where it goes now, on the left side up here as usual. And the date, February 21st, 2023. All right, and we're gonna skip a line here, and I'm gonna put ly adverbs. And we're gonna start a list of ly adverbs, because this, lists come in handy when you're writing, because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I would do homework when I was young, like you guys, I would be stuck on something and I couldn't think of a good word. And it was just kind of hard for me to think of what to write about and how to make it sound good. So if you have a list of words to choose from, that will help you a lot with making decisions on what word to pick. So, remember our story last week, the bald man and the fly? You guys remember that one? Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good one. So thinking about that, because what you're going to do is use your outline this week to actually write the paragraph in your own words. And you're going to add an ly adverb in there. So we're going to help you come up with a good list of things to choose from. When you do your homework, you can pick one of these words to add to your story. So think about this. Think about the bald man when he decided to sit down and rest. Okay, so he blankingly, or I should say it this way, he somethingly sat down to rest on a rock. What is an ly word that would describe how he sat down on the rock to rest? He somethingly sat down to rest. Okay, Valentina.
He tiredly.
Tiredly. Yep, so we'll skip a line here. We're going to skip lines on this list just so it's easy to read and we got plenty of space there. Could be sleepily too, right? Let's skip a line and put sleepily. He sleepily sat down to rest. How else could he sit down to rest? Okay, Kylie.
He's slowly.
He's slowly, good. I like that. Hey, oh, sorry, my dogs are going crazy for a second. Slowly, how about suddenly? We could use that one. Suddenly sat down to rest. Or, okay, let's think for a second about the fly, okay, in the story. And you know how the fly was buzzing around his head, landing on him. So thinking about the fly somethingly starts to land on his skin. The fly, Kylie, what do you think?
Annoyingly.
Perfect word, yes, annoyingly. Oh, why? I-N-G-L-Y. Annoyingly, perfect. Any other words about the fly and how it's landing on him? Somethingly landing on his skin.
Irritatedly.
Ooh, yes. I think it would actually be irritatingly. I think it would have an ing and an ly. Irritatingly. Did I spell that right? Does it have 2 R's? I think it does. Let me just double check. I told you guys, spelling is not my strong subject by a long shot. But that's okay. I-N-G-L-Y. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I got it right. Woohoo! It just looks funny with 2 R's there. All right, irritatingly. Do you think of any others? What is the word when it happens again and again and again? What is that word with an ly, do you think? Valentina?
Repeatedly.
Good, that's a good one. Or constantly. We're just going to make a big list here, okay? Think about when the bald man goes to hit the fly away. Somethingly hit the fly. How could we describe that? How is he hitting? Somethingly hit the fly. Kylie.
He frustratedly hit the fly.
Frustratedly, I think it's frustratingly. Frustratingly. Yep. Could it possibly be violently? I mean, maybe he was like, he's just flailing, like, get this fly away from me. How about that? Violently, maybe? Violently. How about, let me see if I can get Harmony to think of one. How about when you're angry? Let's see if she can come up with one. If you're really angry, how would you say that with an ly?
Madly. Madly.
Madly. Okay, that'll work. Good. Or we could say angrily. All right, our list is getting pretty long. I think we can pause there. Now, there is room here on this side. So here's what I want you to do with this list. You're going to keep this list at the front of your binder this week, especially as you get ready to write your paragraph. And as you're reading other things, maybe you like to read for fun on the side, or you're working on your grammar and you come across a really good ly adverb, you can add to this list, okay? If you come across one and you like it. By the way, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of choices. There's a lot. Okay, maybe not thousands and thousands, but a lot, okay? So here's another way you could do that. And you could look up a word, if it's okay with your parents, to find an ly adverb to describe something. And Google is really handy for that, but you have to make sure to check in with your parents before you use Google. They can help you with that. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can find good ly adverbs, but this will really add style to your writing. And so we're going to start practicing that. All right, so we're done with that list for now. Everybody got those words written down? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Good. All right. Next, let's look back on your keyword outline. Now, I just have one because we stopped right here after we finished class. That's where we ended up stopping. But I know that for you guys, your homework was to finish this outline. So give me a thumbs up if you have words on all 8 of these lines. Okay, good. And you do too, Harmony? Good, yay. All right. So we're going to start transferring our outline into a paragraph again. We're going to practice that again. And you're going to start to see that's kind of the pattern in this class. we read an original article or text of some kind. We decide what the keywords are from it. We put it down in an outline, and then we write our own version of the information we learned. And then we start adding style to what we write. And after a while, you're going to see these things are going to get easier and easier. And then naturally, you're going to start writing and even speaking with these dress up words. It's pretty cool. So, oops, I forgot to tell you one more thing before we get into the outline. I'm going to pause on that for a second. I want you to look at page 29. I forgot to show you this page. I need to show you this next. Okay, so go ahead and look for page 29. It should be in the front of your binder because we took it out last week. 29 should be at the very front. Hopefully it's there. And then we'll start talking about the keyword outline, but I forgot that we need to talk about this one first. Good, I see that, Kylie. You have yours, okay. And Harmony, you have your checklist, 29. Good. So this is called a composition checklist. It says that at the top. I know my light's kind of glaring right here. Let me see if I can move this down. And you're going to find that from now on, every story that we read has its own checklist, a composition checklist. And this is a super, super, super important part of my class, is using this checklist. So I want to walk you through it so you know how to use it, because the sooner you learn that, the better you're going to do in my class. This is super important. So you'll see at the top here, it says week 3, and it says the bald man and the fly. We're on unit 2, composition checklist, and the week 3 again, the bald man and the fly. And you're going to put your name right next to where it says name. So go ahead and write your name there. And then the source text, I know it says it up here, but you're just going to copy it, because later you're going to have more than one source text. So that's when you're going to need to know what to write there. But this one's just one. So the source text is that story, the bald man and the fly. From here, we're just going to read these boxes, and I'm going to talk to you about what you'll do with them. So notice the word structure, and this is how the paragraph that you're writing is laid out and how your homework looks laid out on the page. We're starting with just one paragraph right now, but eventually we're going to get into 3 paragraphs, and then we're going to stay on that for a while. So the first thing, the first box in that gray spot there says name and date in the upper left-hand corner. And you guys already are getting so good at that. I'm so happy, because some of my classes, they forget that over and over and over again. And maybe it's because they're homeschooling and they don't really think about putting their name on their paper. But I want you to do that for every paragraph that you write or story that you write for me. Every page. I mean, well, the first page, I should say, of every assignment. The next box says composition double spaced. We talked about that before, and it's okay to use little X's between the lines to help you remember to double space. You guys did that for a story not that long ago. And that's going to be how it is for everything you turn in for me. Composition double space. I almost forgot. I don't want you to put a check on this now, but as you're doing your homework, after you put your name and date in the upper left-hand corner, you can actually put a check inside that box. And then after you're done writing and you did double space, put a check in that box. The next one says title centered and repeats 1 to 3 keywords from final sentence. And we talked about that last week, the title rule. And that's something I'm going to practice with you a bunch, so you'll remember. But you will make a new title for your story, and you'll need to make sure that your title is also in your last sentence. So 1 to 3 keywords from the final sentence needs to be in your title. We talked about that before. So if you do that, then you put a check there. The next one, right here where it says checklist on top, final draft, rough draft, keyword outline. We are not going to worry about that one. So that is the only one on here you can actually draw a line through. That is only if you are in person with me. If you are coming to class in a classroom and turning in your homework to me like that, that's how you would turn it in. But since you're turning it in on Google Classroom, you don't need to worry about that one. So you can cross that one out. All right. Then the next one says style. This is what I was talking about earlier, adding style to your paper. And you see the words dress ups, and then in parentheses, it says underline one of each. Okay, and notice this little symbol right here. It's kind of small, but it looks like a backwards P and then a 1. That stands for paragraph 1. Later, you're going to see paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. But for this assignment, it's only one paragraph. So that makes it pretty easy. And it says underline one of each. So underneath that is ly adverb, which is what we've been talking about. You only need to add one to your paragraph. But if you really like ly adverbs, let's say you have fun with them and you want to use them a lot. Let's pretend that you want to put 5 ly adverbs in your paragraph. That is fine with me. You don't have to. You need to have at least one. But you only underline one ly adverb. You don't have to underline. If you do 5, I don't want to see you underline all 5. You could pick one and underline it. It's really important that you follow that because we're going to be adding a lot of dress ups as we go. Once you put your ly adverb in there, you can check that. Then at the bottom, mechanics, these are just regular stuff with writing, meaning capitalization, making sure you capitalized your first letter. I see that. Thank you, Kylie. And then making sure you have your end marks and punctuation, making sure your complete sentences. Does it make sense? And the best way to determine that after you write your paragraph is to read it to somebody, preferably your mom, your dad, grandma, somebody at home that's an adult. Just say, hey, Grandma, do you mind if I read to you my paragraph really quick? And I know your grandma would love it, I'm sure, or grandpa or whoever would love to hear your paragraph. Mom, dad, aunt, uncle, anybody, big sister, read your paragraph. And as you read it out loud with your voice, you're going to notice if you miss anything, you're going to hear it. And then that'll help you fix it. Because sometimes students like finish their paragraph really quick and they turn it in, they don't read it to themselves or to somebody else. And they're missing words like the or it or of and little words because they're writing maybe fast, you know. So make sure you read it to somebody to make sure that it makes sense. And then the last one is the spelling. Now, this class, I'm not teaching spelling, so I'm not too worried about that one, but I do want you to try your best with your spelling. And that's it. This is the checklist. That's how you do it. You read through each one. Once you have those things, you can put a check in the box. And this will be something that you're going to now add to your homework that you upload on Google Classroom. So when you go to copy your grammar pages or take a picture of your grammar pages, you want to include this one too. Okay, any questions about the checklist? No questions. How about you, Valentina? No questions? Okay. All right, then going back to our keyword outline, now we can go back to that. I do want you to get out another clean piece of lined paper. Fresh piece. I'm going to set mine kind of like this over the top of my outline so you can kind of see this part and this part. And I'm going to help you get started with your homework, which is going to be to write your paragraph. So Go ahead, you know what to do. I don't even have to remind you anymore. Do this part on a new piece of paper. And instead of putting the bald man and the fly, I'm going to have you just skip a line and just draw a blank spot like that. We're going to hold a spot for your title because you won't know what your title is until you get to the end. And then you're going to make up your own title. Could be something like the crazy fly, the man in the crazy fly, or the angry man, or the buzzing, annoying pest, something like that. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to look at the keyword outline. I did do that first one with you. I remember doing that in class, and we have summer, tired, off, and then we decided to draw a little hat. So who can tell me a complete sentence using those keywords for number one? All right, Kylie, what you got? Oh, you got to unmute though. I can't hear you. There we
On a
go.
hot summer day, a tired man took off his hat to take a rest.
Okay, so we're going to write that sentence. That's okay. You can help us write it. When we start, you're going to skip a little line here, and it's okay to put an X if that helps you to skip a line. And then we need to indent, right? So you're going to leave a little space. If you need to use your finger, that's fine. So your sentence started with on a hot summer day. Was that right? So I'm going to put my capital on a hot summer day. And then what did you say?
A man sat down and took off his hat.
I think you said tired too. I remember you saying that. A tired.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
A tired man sat down and took off his hat.
A tired man sat down and took off his hat. I'll let you write that down. And don't forget to skip some lines here. So you want to do every other line, and you can put a little X there to help you remember that. As you're writing, I did want you to try using pen, but if you still want to use pencil, if it's really hard for you to use pen, that's okay. I just want you to really work at not erasing. If you make a mistake, remember, just draw one line through it and you can fix it because you have space now. Okay. Okay. And we're going to come back to this sentence, but now for number two, you guys might have different things. So I want to go to Valentina next. Look at your number two. What words do you have written there?
I have fly, buzz, and head.
Fly, buzz, and head. And maybe Harmony and Kylie, you might have something different. That's okay. But we're going to write the first few sentences together so you can copy me on this. But Valentina, give me a good sentence using those words.
The fly buzzed around his head.
Okay, good. The fly. I wonder if we should say there was a fly because we're talking about the man. Now we're switching to a fly. So what do you think?
There was a fly that buzzed around his head.
There you go. There was a fly that buzzed around his head. Oops, don't forget to double space here. So put your little X's if you need to. If you don't need the X's and you can do that without the X's, that's fine. Okay. Give me a thumbs up when you're done with those sentences. Okay, good. Good, thank you, Valentina. Be thinking about number 3 on your checklist, and you can look at your words and think about it. And whenever Harmony's ready, we'll see if she can come up with a sentence for that part too. But you girls can be thinking about it. Good, Harmony. Okay. So, Harmony, you're going to do number 3 on your keyword outline. Okay. So look for your number 3 and think of a sentence with the words you have and tell us the next sentence.
Get away, fly, mumbled the man.
I love it. Get away, fly, mumbled the man. Okay, so now she's got a speaking part here. So I'm going to show you how you would do that. You're going to actually use a quotation mark. It looks like that. Get away, fly. And I'm going to use an exclamation point because I like how she said it. Get away, fly. And then, by the way, your sentences might end up in a different spot on your paper. Mine's kind of spread out because I'm using a pen, but go to where you're pretty close to that pink line, keep going. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. And then she said, mumbled the man. Get away, fly, mumbled the man. I'm going to put a little X here just to keep track of my spaces. Okay, we're going to pause there for a minute. Good, I see that, Valentina. You give everybody a chance to finish. Good, Kylie. This is a good start to your story. The next thing I want you to do, well, go ahead and keep writing, Harmony. You're fine. I'll give you a minute to finish. Good. That was good. Okay. Now we've talked about ly adverbs. We're not done with our paragraph yet, but I'm just going to model for you where we can put an adverb. So the first step is to look for the verbs. And remember, the verbs are the action words. So does anybody see any verbs in our sentences? Raise your hand if you do. Okay, Valentina, what's one of the verbs?
I see fly.
Fly, yes. Well, actually, this use of fly is a fly. So that actually wouldn't be a verb. It would be a noun. But you're right, the word fly sometimes is a verb, but in that one, it's a noun. What else? What is the fly doing though, Valentina?
He's buzzing around his head.
So buzzed, that's a verb. That's a good one. Kylie, do you see a different verb? What do you see?
Mumbled.
Mumbled, good one. Mumbled is a verb, buzzed is a verb. Anybody, do you see one, Harmony? Do you see a verb other than those two?
Sat.
Yes, good. Sat is a verb. So we have sat, we have buzzed, and we have mumbled. So now we get to pick one of those, and then we're going to tell how. How did they sat, or how did he sat? How did the fly buzz? And how did the mumble? How did he mumble? So we can pick one of those verbs. That's the first step, is to find a verb, and then decide what could we say about that verb? How did they do that? So what about, let's do buzzed. I'm going to pick this one, buzzed. And that to me is like, bzzz, you know, that super annoying sound that you hear when, especially in the summertime, and when you're sweaty, they just love to come up and get in your ear. I hate that. It gives me goosebumps. It's like, ugh, when a fly comes around. Or if you're outside trying to have a picnic with your family and the flies come around and they're landing on the food, and it's like, ugh. So, all right. So look at the word buzzed. And I want you right before that word, and your word might be in a different spot on your page. That's okay. Find the word buzzed. Right before it, I want you to draw this little mark. It's called a caret. It looks like a tiny little V or an arrow. And it's not a carrot that you eat, obviously, but it's a caret. It's a symbol that you use when you're editing to add a word. Now, we can think about somethingly buzzed, and you can look back on your list of ly adverbs that we made earlier, as we came up with some pretty good ones. Anybody have a thought? Valentina, what do you think?
Annoyingly.
Annoyingly, that's our excellent one. Do you girls like annoyingly? Shall we pick that one? Do you have any other ideas? Oh, it looks like everybody likes annoyingly. I think that's a good one too. So right here on top of where you put that little mark, you're going to write the word annoyingly right in there where you have that space. Annoyingly. And then once you write the word annoyingly, I want you to underline it. Okay. So now let's see how it sounds. On a hot summer day, a tired man sat down and took off his hat. There was a fly that annoyingly buzzed around his head. Get away, fly, mumbled the man. Hey, I like it so far. It's really good. I like that. And by the way, you can put adverbs either before or after the verb. So we could have said buzzed annoyingly. That would work too. So really, adverbs can go on either side of the verb. And then I had you underline it because that's what your checklist says, right? So on your checklist, let's look at that again really quick. We can put a check mark here already next to ly adverb. Now, remember, I said you can put more in there. If you wanted to put one for how he sat down, maybe you could say he slowly sat down. You can add more to your story, but you don't need to underline all of them. Just pick one to underline. And you already did that. You know what else you already did? You already got your name and date on the upper left-hand corner. You can put a check there. Now the rest of it, you have to wait until you're done with all of it. Like, you don't want to check composition double spaced because you're not done with it yet. So you want to make sure you remember all the way to the end to do that. But you got your name and date, and you got your ly adverb. Okay, so we're going to stop there. Your homework will be, because we got all the way to 3. So your homework is going to be to write sentences for numbers 4 through 8 using your keyword outline. You're going to finish writing your paragraph using those words. You can keep going on the one that we started here in class. Okay, you can keep that. And then the rest of it, you can finish with your keyword outline. making sure to make complete sentences, okay? So think in your head about the sentence. You can even say the sentence and then write the sentence. That will help you too. And then when you're all done finishing up those 8 sentences, you must read it to someone, okay? I want you to pick a grown-up of someone in your house that you can read it to. And then if you hear yourself, let's say you forgot you just put mumbled man and you thought, oh no, I forgot you can squeeze it in there, put the caret and write the word the. And then if you have too many words, you can draw a line through it, you can fix it. It's okay to turn it in sloppy to me. That's okay. So I can see what you've done and what you've changed. And then you're going to, at the very end, when you're done with your 8 sentences, that's when you get to pick words from your last sentence to use in your title. Okay, so you need to come up with a new title, making sure to use 1 to 3 words from your last sentence. All right, so, and then of course your grammar homework too. Do you have any questions about this paragraph that you're going to do for your homework? No? That's good. No questions about that? Good. And then the title, you know, if you, we'll talk about the title next week and how you came up with it and how you tied it into your last sentence. So make sure you have it finished by next Tuesday so that we can share it in class. Okay, and we'll talk about how each of our paragraphs will be a little bit different. This part's the same, but then the rest of it might change a little bit. Okay, so, well, that's it for today. We're like 2 minutes on the early side. So does anybody want to share something? Or, I mean, we've got just a couple minutes of class here. Anybody have something they want to say, or we're good today? Everybody's like, no, I'm good. Me too. So if try to stay dry in the storm, I guess it's going to get kind of crazy. So we'll see. If there's snow up here next week, I'll show you outside my window so you can see the snow. Because is anybody else up in Tehachapi? I know Harmony's in Bakersfield. You're in Tehachapi, Kylie. That's right. I forgot. So hopefully you guys have plenty of food and everything. It's funny up here because the town talks about it. Like everybody talks about it. Make sure you have water, make sure you have firewood, make sure you have, you know, all your stuff, because they really do. Sometimes when it gets icy up here, they just close down the roads and you can't go anywhere. So, all right, you guys have a great day. I will see you next time. Bye. Good job today. See you next time.